Good morning and welcome to the discussion segment of the Good Morning Anambra. A few minutes back, we had, given you the press review where we looked at some of the developing stories and headlines across the nation from the tabloids within the nation and also the ABS website. And after that, I told you that we'll have two segments of the discussion segment of the Good Morning Anambra. The first segment of which will have the topic Fostering Disability-Inclusive Society for Social Progress, and that is in commemoration of the 2025 International Day for People with Disability in Anambra, and where we have Chidima Jemba, who is the PRO, Joint National Association of Persons with Disabilities, Jonah PWD, Anambra State Chapter. And we also have Omubuya Vincent, who is also the Project Officer, Joint National Association of Persons with Disability, also known as Jonah PWD, Anambra State, chapter. A little thing to know about this now: people with disabilities it's estimated that we have about 25 million people with disabilities in Nigeria. That's about 11 to 15% of the population right here in Nigeria, according to the National Population Commission and the World Health Organization and also the World Bank. Now, what are the major disabilities types that we have? We have people with visual impairment, people with hearing impairment, people with physical or mobility disability, intellectual development disabilities, mental health condition, and a whole lot of development about that. Meanwhile, in Anambra State, we have about, according to report, about 1.1 million people, over 1.1 million people, unofficial, having a form of disability, and a whole lot of development. A data from 2018 from the Joint National Association of Persons with Disability estimated 850,000 to 1 million people with disabilities in Anambra across all local governments in the state. So these are some of the things we'll be looking at going into this program, this topic this morning on the discussion segment this morning. And I told you earlier that right here in the studio, we have Chidima Jemba, who is the PRO, Joint National Association of Persons with Disability, also known as the Jonah PWD Anambra, and also Omubuya Vincent. He's also he is the project officer of the Joint National Association of Persons with Disabilities across in Anambra State. Both of them, of course, when you look at the both of them, you could see that there seems to be that that fairly distribution of persons actually being part of these like say this organization, this society, this community. Good morning, Chidema. Ladies first.
Morning, Anambra, and thanks for having us.
You're smiling this morning.
Yeah.
I know you should be smiling, you should be happy, but the smile comes with it something extra.
Yeah,
Share
it's
with
our
me.
week. It's our
Oh,
week.
it's our
By
week.
tomorrow, we are having our International Day for Persons with Disability. So every person with disability in Anambra is in a high spirit right
Oh,
now.
wow. High
Yeah.
spirit. Okay. And Omubuya Vincent, the project officer, Joint National Association of Persons with Disability. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
Okay, because I said she's smiling, you have to up your smile so that there will be that competitiveness.
It's in
And
the
all
air.
that.
It's in the air.
It's in the air.
Yeah.
So why is that? Why is it really very important for us to have these awareness? Why should we create this awareness? Because I know there've been lots of awareness for people with disabilities and a whole lot of things. Why is it so important to talk about this? We'll start from you, gentlemen, and start.
Yes. You know, in a society, every society wants social progress. Wants progress. Every progressive society needs to have this social progress, and persons with disabilities are part and parcel of the society. And for that inclusion, whereby the society will have all its intellectuals come bringing to the table what they have and making the society innovative and all inclusive. So because of that, persons with disabilities have these even more special, talents and contributions to make to the society.
All right, thank you very much. Let's look at the theme for this year's celebration: fostering a disability-inclusive society. For progress. Now, these actually narrows down this year's celebration to the need for inclusivity. It has been the bane. There've been a lot of talks about that, but it seems this year the focus because probably it's lacking. It's actually a struggle and a whole lot of things. So the reason why there seems to be that dim light on inclusivity. Now, what does it really mean? What does inclusivity mean to you as someone who's part of this community, Chidema?
Okay, for me, inclusivity simply means I'm part of the society. It simply means I should be part of what is happening, part of the government. I should have access to health, access to education. I should be part of everything. It simply means I'm being thought of like I'm not an afterthought. If I'm being asked to attend a program, I should attend the program in peace and not maybe when I attend I'm being carried up or that. It's all about making me have a sense of belonging. And for persons with disability, this week is an opportunity for us to up our game in an awareness campaign for people to see inclusion as a right and not a charity. So this year is being centered on both economic, both in social aspect. We need to, educate people more on the need to start seeing disability as a normal thing and not see it as maybe something that is extraordinary or maybe a might. It's too interesting that some parents with children with disability are still depriving their kids from interacting with the society. Some are still not giving them the right to education. Some are still even looking down on us. So this fostering social change is very crucial at the moment because we just want to change the narrative. Disability is just a condition, and it's never something that will deprive one from achieving whatever he or she wants to achieve. So that, yeah.
Will agree with you that the need for giving these people with disabilities access to a lot of things
Yeah.
talking about education, transportation, healthcare, technology. Because we see in our immediate environment, we see people with disabilities being deprived of this, and especially education, which is
Yeah.
really very basic. For example,
Exactly.
in Anambra State, education is basically very free.
Mhm.
But some parents who may have given birth to these people feel like, oh, since this
It's not
person
important.
has visual impairment, is unable to move without assistance, that they deny these persons of some of these basic things and all that, and at the end of the person's life, this person die or leave this earth almost
Isolated.
moribund,
Yeah.
isolated, and of little or with little or no value or something like that. So that's why I very much agree. With you on this. Now, I'm coming to you, Mr. Vincent Ombuya. Let's look at experiences. The experiences some of you actually experience as people with one form of disability or the other. What are some of these worst experiences? What are these really heartbreaking, terrible experiences that you see in the community? Because you cannot say, oh, you do not have these experiences that actually does break us or make attempt to break us or something like that. What are some of these experiences?
Well, these experiences are not really, they are experiences we get as a result of, barriers that are left in a society. Different kind of barriers, social barriers, structural barriers, and a whole lot of them. Even communication barriers. You know, these are the barriers that make it look as if there are challenges around. And unlike disability is just, the presence of these barriers, which brings about the challenges. That's why we're really talking this year about fostering uh, disability inclusion in the society. There are a lot of challenges ranging from inaccessibility of structural inaccessibility of places, public places, as well as even private places. We have social barriers like not being allowed to take part in certain activities like banking activities and all that, as well as other uh, barriers like not technological barriers. And even when you come to the communities, you see people with disability not allowed to take part in community activities. So these are just the few, very few, but then it all boils down to these barriers. Uh, when you talk about barriers, you're even talking about absence of human rights. When the human rights are not there, so that's why we're talking about fostering inclusion, so that you see human rights will be respected. There will be equality, especially when there's this recruitment of um, employment opportunities, that persons with disabilities are not left behind because of these barriers.
That's really very hard question. All right, let's look at your representation in within the society, in politics, in media. You also mentioned employment and a whole lot of things, Chidima. How has it been for you people? So far, you've been able to come together, create a committee for yourself through the Joint National Association of Persons with Disability, and there are a whole lot of things. How has it been so far?
Okay, the journey is still in progress. We are not yet there yet in terms of politics, in terms of representation in both in employment and what have you. But then we are hopeful, and we are also challenging ourselves, because as we are looking out for changing people's perception about persons with disability. We're also talking to ourselves, because so many of us are still not able to accept the disability and live beyond that.
They used to do
So
that
yeah,
psychological,
exactly.
that
So
therapy.
the change has to start within us, as people with disability. So we're encouraging ourselves to get into politics, get into community development,
Get
just
education, which
get
is really
education,
very
come
important.
out, speak out, don't be silent, because the more you keep silent, the more people tends to believe you are permit me to use the
Incapable,
word
incapable.
handicapped. Yeah, so that is it. We are not yet there, but there is a great progress, because people are beginning to see that, oh, a person with disability can
It's actually
actually
valuable.
vote and be voted for. So maybe it might not have happened in Anambra, but maybe subsequently you get to see persons with disability that are involved in politics. And also for employment, employment is still low, especially for private sectors. That there are so many persons with disability out there that are qualified, but they are not opportune to be employed, because people will look at you and feel like, oh, how are you going to survive? You're going to be an extra cost. So all these things are, still part of the struggle. But majority, some of us are trying to make ends meet. Some of us are even self-employed, and we
To
are,
know for themselves
yeah,
and all that.
exactly. So
All right, Mr. Vincent Onwuya, let's just look at the policy engagement. Now, in 2019, reports have it that there was a Discrimination Against Persons with Disability Act in 2018. Now, this policy, this law by the federal government, how has it actually helped your community? Talking about people with one form of disability or another.
Well, talking about the Disability Act, uh, fortunately enough for us here in Anambra, the disability rights law has been enacted here and domesticated. The act has been domesticated here in Anambra, and as such, we have a law in Anambra, and that's kudos to the government. and that was seen through the efforts of the Joint National Association of Persons with Disability Anambra State, as well as other stakeholders. At the inception of this law to date, it has been a good, will I say, it has been good all the way, because the law has made it, giving the persons with disability the sense of belonging, and has made it that even the human rights of persons with disability are now being, you know, known by everyone. So the disability law has gone a long way in making rights of person with disability no more, a charity stuff, but now a right in itself. So, and then where we still have the challenges are in its implementation.
Yeah, yeah. You just mentioned challenges, Mr. Vincent. Are there, you know, are there challenges you're facing right here? Let's bring it home. Let's not take it as let's start from our our close environment. Are there challenges? Are there lots of challenges you're facing in Anambra State amidst the fact that this policy has been domesticated in the state?
Well, really, most times the implementation of a law is very crucial to its existence. And if you, if the law is intentionally implemented, it will go a long way making the law work. It will no more be a paper, it will be more effective. And the challenges we are currently facing in Anambra State is the implementation of this law. And in fact,
Would you say the effective implementation or just the implementation?
the total implementation is very, very important because the law is just there. People are beginning to adapt to the law. And, due to some aspects of the law which are not really known to everyone, so it makes it not yet effective. But if the law, the implementation is being enforced, I mean, to go a long way in solving the existing challenges. The law is there, but then it's like it's not yet popular to everybody. So the government.
So what are the largely the sections of these laws this law that you feel is important um, to to your community that people should know?
Okay, the most important, all the sections of law are very important. Uh, like the society where we live, we need to be acquainted with the laws, the whole law,
But
aspects of the law.
Lord then he said, God forbid it that I know all the laws. But it's the whole law because there are lots of laws that you do not even, you've not basically thought of and all that. All right. So, but the law also says the fact that you do not know about it is not an excuse and a whole lot of things. But these things are legit. You wanted to say something?
Yeah, I wanted to say something concerning the questions. Okay, there are some aspects of the law that talks about accessibility, and over in that law it states that every public building should be accessible for persons with disability, both in structural and even in communication. And I will say that uh, that it's not been implemented in Anambra State. It's only few organizations and few outfits like ABS. I must give kudos to ABS. Like ABS is one of the establishment that when I'm being invited, I don't feel it's sort of weird because I know I can easily find my way inside the establishment. So aside that, there is the aspect that talks about the access to health, access to education, even the one that talks about social media, people mimicking persons with disability.
Well, should you feel bad about that? Don't you think it's a way of also passing a certain kind of information? Even if
No.
or people shouldn't. I know people should laugh at people with disabilities, but even those who have no physical disability or thereabouts, people still
It's
mistake them.
it's
And okay, you feel it's
it's
emotional.
totally wrong for skit makers to mimic persons with disability. There are so many ways to pass your messages and it will get across. You can
You say that it's totally wrong or it seems wrong.
it's wrong, and it's even if you're being caught in that law, you'll be fined or even be
Okay,
jailed.
fine.
So
So,
when you see people mimicking persons with albinism because they have low vision and you're making a mockery of it and you say you're passing, what kind of message are you passing?
alright,
You see?
so if you're a skit maker and you've been doing something like that, you have to be very careful now. So you're hearing this.
Exactly.
If you make
And
skits that are that looks insulting or something like that, you have to be
yeah.
very careful.
Because disability is about giving respect, according respect to
Giving
people.
respect
You
to
understand? And there are also other aspects of the law that talks about persons with disability having right to marry, to get married, or to be married. So all these things, and people are not yet queuing into these disabilities. Some people are not even aware of it. It looks like there was a point we were and the tempo we are high and people were it seems like everybody was trying to like do one or two things to implement the law, but at the stage we are back now in Anambra, it looks like people have totally forgotten about the law, and we just keep on doing more sensitization, more awareness, and it's over 5 years and little or nothing is being done about the law. It just looks like we are good at making good policies and not implementing them. But let's hope that
So
with
you have to keep
with
don't
this
try. You
exactly.
have to you don't get tired. But believe me, it's something. It's not easy at all.
Yeah, because for instance, you get into a public transport and you're a person with disability, you're asking for a seat that will be accessible for you, and the driver is feeling like, who are you to say you will sit here? Assuming the driver is aware that a person with disability should be.
Sometimes about that, aside the fact that you may be somebody with a certain kind of disability, the conductors, will I say, motorists also tell that to a normal person. So I also feel,
It's
I
not.
also feel, excuse me, please, I'm not trying to,
I
I also feel
understand.
there should be that balance, and at times also, like you said earlier, try and also avoiding to victimize yourself about it, and you just talked about accepting, oh, this is the situation, and make a light to it of some of
No,
these things so that
it's not about them telling you not to sit here, but it's about the comfortability of the person. For me to say I want to sit here simply means I will not be able to get in. You understand? That is why we keep talking, saying that this inclusion is about rights. It's not because we are not, trying to force it or to get it because we are trying to be the victims. No, it's far away from being victims. It's just about doing the right thing. Yeah.
all right, don't you think? I believe when it comes to the transport section, don't you think there should be that, um, will I say,
Specialized transport.
especially vehicles? There should be that collaboration, I think, to the Ministry of Transport, and encouraging the government or the governor to create special vehicles for your community. Don't you think that should be encouraged?
Well, it will be a nice thing, but we're also talking about integration. All we are saying is if there are public transport, let it be accessible to all. If we keep saying we want a special school, special vehicle,
It
it
seems
looks like we
like
are being
being
excluded
excluded.
from the
Okay, you
society.
want to like be within,
Like what we have in
feel,
Lagos State.
yeah, okay, just feel among,
Exactly.
be with everyone, and not feel like, oh, you're excluded or something like that. Right, that's a lot, and it's really very, it is really very important that we talk about that. All right, we'll go for a short break. We take a street walk, and when we come back, we'll gradually round this up, and we start the second segment of the discussion segment of the Good Morning Anambra. Stay tuned.
Discrimination is something else. People don't actually get they treat them as if they are not human beings. Yes, but like these are people they have lives too. The fact that they don't have legs or hands does not mean that you should now look at them like they are less. So people should really try to be more accommodating with them. When you come here, some disabled patients, there's not enough like equipment, like maybe wheelchairs to like carry them to those. Like there was even one lady was legitimately fighting the woman for carrying the wheelchair around the whole day because of like disabled patient. She didn't have her own.
Once you are disabled, you can still do some things. But if there is skill that you can do to help yourself, not to be idle, government can develop like all these skills acquisition for them to endeavor to do some of them. And people that are disabled should not feel that they have lost hope. The hope is still there. But when you encourage yourself that you can do it, you can do it. Because I have seen a lot of disabled people that are useful to the community, that are useful to the society. So if governments can build up all these skill training, skill acquisition for them, they can still be useful to the society.
We are all human beings, just that we have some disabilities. We are all human beings that God created. Some of the person can still have an accident and got disabled. So it can happen to anybody. Most of them that are born with that disability, they should give them equal opportunity with a normal, full-fledged human being. I believe that will improve their rate of work. Most of them are very intelligent. I met some. He died last 2 years. Very intelligent man. But he's disabled. He can't even walk. He works with clutches. Very intelligent. If you stay with him, you'll be crazy. He will educate you. He's far. But at the time, he had a position in Njikoka local government. He had a good position. They gave him opportunity. In fact, he was in charge of disabled in Anambra Central.
There should be more like a shelter for disabled people. There should also be more like an empowerment scheme for the disabled, because if there's an empowerment scheme for the disabled, at least they can get to do something, craft, learn something. And so if they are engaged, at least I think here in Anambra State, you don't tend to see the disabled mostly on the road. When you go to the north, you see most of them on the road begging and all those. But here in the east, in Anambra State, it's not like that. So I think that's one thing we should commend the government of Anambra State, that we don't see the disabled on the road. But to improve, I guess they should have shelter and they should have an empowerment scheme for the disabled so that they can engage in doing something. They can also help themselves.
Right, welcome back to the first segment of discussion segment right here on Good Morning Anambra. Of course, we've been having this really very important topic, fostering disability-inclusive societies for social progress in commemoration of the 2025 International Day for People with Disabilities. And in discussing this, we have Chidima Jemba, who is the PRO, Joint National Association of Persons with Disabilities in Anambra State, and also Mr. Omumbuya Vincent, who is the Project Officer, Joint National Association of Persons with Disabilities right here in Anambra State. Now, we just saw, comments from the street, lots of people saying things that have been, that were really very positive, commending the government, commending people with disabilities right here in Anambra State, which is quite very commendable. But something they talked about is empowerment. Someone with disability being someone that is actually productive. So, Mr. Vincent, would you say people with disabilities in Anambra State are actually doing a lot, are actually very productive and adding value to the community?
Well, I would say to a great extent, persons with disability in Anambra State have been doing a whole lot. They've been distinguishing themselves in various aspects of life. Many are very productive, economic-wise. Many have been engaged in various cultural activities, various, social activities too, like even in politics and all that. They've been doing their bit. That's why, because of the law that has been enacted, all the while, there's a big change. There has been a big change prior to that law, and right now we can see a lot going on. Persons with disability now get married without discrimination at all. Persons with disability now can go to political parties, belong to political parties, join in political activities. We even economic activities too. We now have persons with disability, a big number of them working in government offices and all that. It's because they now have braced up to the challenge, persons with disability, and as a result of the law too. So, and then since the government, we have to give kudos to the government. Since the law has been put in place, there has been a great effort by the government. First, by making the law possible. We need to give kudos to the government. We also need to give kudos to the government for its employment, for persons with disability. We have to give kudos to government. We can see in some of the offices, government places, you can see, accessibility features there. Even though there is a need for improvement in those areas, we can go a long way to commend the government for a lot they have been doing. But then there has been a reasonable improvement on the part of persons with disability, their lives, socially, economically, and otherwise. And then when you talk about empowerment, you're looking at empowerment in various aspects, and this law has given that empowerment, which could also come to fullness if the implementation, intentional implementation, is done.
That's really very, that's very, really crucial, really very, really very important. All right. Let's also look at, self-reliance on the part of people with disabilities. How has it been? Self-reliance, being able to be creative, and a whole lot of things. And also, I want to also ask both as a rejoinder, because we're very much behind schedule and all that. Looking at the name Joint International, does it mean that there are also subgroups in these joint?
Yeah, we have clusters of persons with disability. JONAPID is an umbrella body that covers all clusters of persons with disability in Anambra State. So in JONAPID, you have Association of Persons with Physical Disability. You have National Association of Blind People. We also have Anambra State Association of Persons with Deaf, and even Anambra State Association of Persons with Albinism and other. We also have other sister clusters, even those that are yet to join, but are still part of JONAPID. And you asked about self-reliance.
Self-reliance.
That is what we are trying to say, that people with disabilities are beginning to see the ability in themselves, and they're beginning to see that the truth is the government cannot do it all. That's just it. The government cannot do it all. So persons with disabilities are beginning to get involved in skill acquisition, in digital skills, not just skill acquisitions, because we are far moving away from
a lot.
physical
and today
skills to digital skills. So persons with disability are in top gear, and even partners, development partners, most of them roll out grants for persons with, and you see people with disability getting an opportunity to start off something from one or two grants. And I must also say the wife of the governor is also doing a lot in terms of empowering women with disability. Some of them are being empowered to start little businesses that can give them self-confidence, because you only understand disability when you don't have any means of survival. Well, if you can survive, then your disability is less easier for you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, Mr. Onwubuwa, what are the plans? What plans are you guys rolling out this week? And also, what are actually the plans for your community going forward?
Okay. JONAPID is the umbrella body for persons with disability. It has been all the while championing this, right from inception, championing the cause of persons with disability, burdened with the welfare of persons with disability, projecting persons with disability. Our plans, especially for our group, is to make sure that you know, these barriers we talk about, which are the things that, make inclusion look as if it's impossible. To make sure that these barriers are removed and that persons with disability live like every other person in the society, that they are even able to do everything, contribute to their society. They are able to be tapped from, and the society becomes more innovative. So our plans are towards that direction, making sure that, and to see that we, beckon on the government, individuals, communities, to help in this inclusion, fostering inclusion, so that these barriers can be removed. One, by making sure that, this law is implemented. Because once this law is implemented, every other issue we're talking about will be well taken care of. So our plans for this week remains that we'll have our advocacy visits. We also have this week we'll be having our football match.
Well, what would that be
Tomorrow.
happening?
That will be happening tomorrow.
It's a Mary's if they do.
We're having a novelty match between Team Jonapid and also Reverend Fathers from Oka Diocese.
Oh wow,
If
that's
you
the
have the
Catholic
time
diocese.
to join us, it's going to be
If they do
interesting.
it's not
Have you
far, but
seen
no
a
problem.
blind play before?
I think I've seen, probably not live, but at least I've seen matches like that.
Okay,
I
it's
think
going
the
to play out
NFF
today, and even the Reverend Fathers will be blindfolded. We want them to have
a feel of what it looks like.
Exactly. So it's happening.
So
today.
how do you now make the blind to also have a feel of seeing too?
No, it's not about, some of us with disabilities permanent to say.
Oh, power.
So
Okay,
you
to have,
can.
oh yeah, there's
So
no
it's just about to, make you
feel
understand this is
what it looks like.
disability is all about. So when we are asking for this and this, you
You
will have
understand,
a better understanding. Yeah.
wow.
And also tomorrow is the men day. We also have some outings, and on Friday is our major event. We are celebrating our end of the year and praise day
Wow.
at St. Matthew Catholic Church Amobia. So every person with disability is invited.
Oh, so
And,
Matthew,
And
that's
General
that's
Public.
and even on Thursday too, we also have a press conference with Ministry of Health, and I think tomorrow we also have something with the wife of the governor.
so let's look at that one with the football match at Mary's if they do know what time.
Okay, the time is 3:30.
3:30 in the afternoon.
Yeah.
What day?
Today.
Today.
Yeah.
Okay, which other one again?
Okay, on Thursday we have a joint press conference with Ministry of Health, and then on Friday is our major event.
Would it be an all-night event or
No, it's
just
day.
within the day at Matthew Amobia?
And then probably on Sunday we do our Thanksgiving around off. The Thanksgiving should be somewhere in, I think, Aguata.
In Aguata.
It's not yet.
Okay, you guys are going to spread the
Yeah,
whole so that it's not just
round.
so that it's not
Last
just
year was Onitsha. Went to Basilica.
Wow, that's beautiful. All right, thank you very much, Chidima Ajemba, the PRO Joint National Association of Persons with Disability, Jonapid, Anambra, and also Ombuya Vincent, Project Officer, Joint National Association of Persons with Disability, right here in Anambra. They've been doing a lot to, to take the message for the people with disabilities, very far, at least within the state. I believe others outside the state are also making lots of efforts to, share this message. When you see someone with disability, do not make the person feel victimized. You have to try your best possible to, make the person feel really okay with themselves and a whole lot of things, because believe me, it's a difficult one. And of course, some of them came to life with this, not basically their fault. And also very important to parents who give birth to people with disabilities. Do not, because of the disability, deprive them of basic needs like education, basic love, care,
and a whole lot of things. All right. So do not because of this deny them of these things. And you feel like, oh, this person, I have one close to where we live. This guy is already very old. Not very old, but at least he's come of age. But you see, this guy is just at home every day doing nothing, and very obvious that he didn't get education or something.
Yeah.
If he had gotten education, at least it would have given him that edge to do one or two things, to be useful. No basic skill, nothing, just at home, wakes up in the morning, brushes his teeth, sit back at home, eats, nothing. So this is really, yeah. You said?
Okay, I'm saying that we have a lot of those things you're saying, but then we also have, implore for government and
to actually intervene,
as well as communities.
All right.
And
all right.
even
Thank
the
you.
media.
All right, thank you very much. The media, we are trying our best possible. Communities, also try your best possible, and a whole lot of things. All right, so my name is Obina. Stay tuned. We'll bring you the second segment of discussion segment right here in Anambra State, where we'll be bringing you the acting chairman of the National Youth Council of Nigeria. A lot of controversies about that, but we won't be talking about that. They're actually having an end of the year party. That will be our bone of discussion in the next few minutes. So stay tuned.